ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليمًا كثيرًا أما بعد. A few months ago, from this very minbar, we talked about the assassination and the cold-blooded murder that the Zionists did against that Palestinian lady who was a non-Muslim, and she was a Christian, and she was a reporter over there in Palestine. We talked about her courage. We talked about her virtues. But we also talked about the position of that situation in Islam as the Muslims went overboard. It is a crying shame, a bloody shame, that when things like this happen to our ummah, we have no idea, Sheikh Abu Ismail, Hudayfa, as an ummah, we have no idea how to deal with these issues. Like, it's mind-blowing, boggles the mind, that the people of Islam, when a lady like that is murdered and assassinated or they die, we want to take 3 days off in the Muslim countries. But when a scholar dies, no one lifts up their head for that. The ummah doesn't know that there is a wali from the awliya that has died from Pakistan, from Africa, from Egypt. The wali from the awliya of Allah is a person who is an abid lillah. He or she dies, the world, la nasma' laha sota. But when a non-Muslim dies, no matter how great they were or how not so great they were, we don't know what to do. Our children don't know what to do. Anytime something happens in Islam, ya akhi Abdullah, you have to know as a Muslim, this is not preaching, this is not a khutbah, this is the reality. You have to know, ya akhi Abdullah, amatullah, what is the correct mawqif, what's the right position for me in this? Is the Muslim the person who, like Christians, just do what you want to do, it feels good, just do it, so light a candle, light a candle, have a moment of silence. Abu Usamah, I want to acknowledge the death, the assassination of the lady Shireen Abu Aqila. So when I mention her name, I say, Radiyallahu anha. Before the khutbah, for an example, before the khutbah, I decide before the khutbah to say, let's have a moment of silence before the khutbah. Ala kayfi ana, that's the religion. What kind of Islam is that? I ask you people, what kind of Islam is that? The Muslim has to judge everything and say, Allah is looking at me to see how I'm going to deal with this issue. He mentioned in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ قَوْلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ لِيَحْكُمَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَن يَقُولُ. They just had one statement. We hear and we obey. If the Muslim is invited to allow Allah and His Messenger to judge between them, once he finds out what to do, he say, we hear and we obey. That's it. Simple as that. روي عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the hadith. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يكون هواه تبعا لما جئت به. روي. And it's true. None of you truly believes. You're not a Muslim, a real Muslim. You're a fake Muslim, tazweer. You're a da'if Muslim, maybe a munafiq. You are not a true Muslim until your hawa, your desires, are in tune with what he brought, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. ما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهم الخيرة من أمرهم. It's not permissible for a believing man, a believing woman, if Allah's messenger says something, for you to have any say-so. You can't have any say-so. من أحب لله وأبغض لله وأعطى لله ومنع لله فقد استكمل إيمانه. Whoever loves for Allah and he hates for Allah. The question is, did Allah Azza wa Jalla love Shireen Abu Aqila? That's what I have to find out. Can I أقدم على هذه مسألة? Is it permissible for me to put my foot in that arena? Allahumma na'am. I could put my foot in that arena. Because if she died on other than al-Islam, Allah doesn't love kufr. What if the religion never came to her? She never heard of it. Well, in the dunya, nahkum alayha bil-zahir. We judge based upon what is apparent. And we leave her asrar in Allah. He's going to judge that situation Yawm al-Qiyamah. But some of the people, they say that. Maybe she was a Muslim. You don't know. She could have been hiding her iman. Maybe. Maybe. But our religion is not built upon maybe. Ihtimalat. That's not our religion. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Maybe he's not a Muslim on the minbar. So maybe you should get up and knock him off. Maybe he's on the minbar. He doesn't have wudu. He's going to leave salah. So you should hit him in his head and take his place in salah. Maybe, maybe, maybe. What religion is that? So this khutbah today is the second part of the khutbah of the lady Shireen Abu Aqila. وَبِالْإِشَارَةِ الَّبِيبِ يَفْهَمُ. This is the second part, part 2, part B. The mawqif of the Muslim when a lady like Shireen dies. Do we say, radiyallahu anha, rahimahallah, a'ta Allah al-jannah? Our religion is the religion of rahmah. Our Nabi is the Nabi of rahmah. And although the non-Muslims may overwhelm us with the kalam, al-Islam, spread by the sword, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mutakhallif, a'udhu billah. Although they say that, if the Muslim is worth his weight in salt, how much you weigh, akhi? How much you weigh? 200 pounds, 150 pounds? How many kilos? Well, if you're worth your weight in salt, you have no doubt with all of the taqsir we fall into. We've fallen short of the mark. Some of us didn't pray Fajr today or yesterday, day before, but we're here right now asking Allah forgive us. Oh, Allah, forgive us for missing prayers. Forgive us for the mistakes we made. You're Rahman ar-Rahim, bal anta arham ar-Rahimi. But we're here right now seeking forgiveness, and we're going to make dua in that hour that Allah forgives. Acts the dua and answers the dua. But the question is now, do we just do and say whatever we want to do and say? The Nabi of Islam, we know, no matter how much we're falling short of the mark, he is the Nabi of a rahmah for everyone. So let us look at this issue. There was a janazah, it went by. Some of the companions sat down. He told them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قُومُوا إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الْجَنَازَةَ فَقُومُوا لَهَا. If you see a janazah and it goes by you, that's not just for the khutbah. A procession of funeral goes by in a car. Rasulullah says, stand up for it, out of respect. You're sitting down on Chapeltown Road, and there's a procession that goes by. Maybe it's in a horse, maybe it's a car. The sunnah is to stand up. They said, Ya Rasulullah, that's the janazah of a Yahudi, Jewish person. It's not even a Muslim. Rasulullah asked him the question, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, awalaysat nafsa? Isn't the dead person a nafs? Got nothing to do with Jew, Christian, white, black, man, woman, king, queen. Isn't it a nafs? So stand up. Another hadith, another narration of the same hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا تَقُومُونَ لِلَّذِي يَقْبِضُ الْأَرْوَاحِ. You're standing up out of respect for the one who takes the soul, the angel of death. That's what you're standing up for. You're not standing up for the person in the beard. You're standing up out of respect that you and I are going to meet death. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. That's what we look at this lady Shireen Abu Aqila, and we take that away. What did the religion say? We take that away, that everyone's going to taste death. We take away what Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. No matter where you are, death is coming to you, even if you're in a high, lofty tower. You could be right here on ground zero, you could be on the first floor of this masjid, or you can be in your palace up in the sky. Death is going to come and hit you. Back to the point of the janazah. So he said, isn't it enough? We're standing up because of the angel. And then he said in another narration, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inna lil maut faza'a. Death is something that terrorizes. Death is something that when you see it, you hear it, you should be afraid. Even to this day, the brand new police officer, the brand new fireman, when they see someone die, they walk to him very gingerly. His job, once he starts to see many dead people, now he'll walk over and he'll turn them over. But if you're not used to seeing dead people, you're going to walk very gingerly. Inna lil maut faza'a. So therefore you have to stand up because your turn is coming. Your turn is coming. So look at the rahmah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the religion of al-Islam, the religion of al-adl and insaf and hikmah. There's a Jewish person, Ya Rasulullah. What that got to do with the price of peanuts? What that got to do with the price of rice in China? Death is coming, and you have to pay attention to that lesson, no matter who it is. So that is as it relates to just the spectacle of death. He told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about the maqabir, zuruha, فَإِنَّهَا تُذَكِّرُكُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ. Go to the graveyard, go to the cemetery, because the cemetery will remind you of Yom al-Qiyamah. He didn't say, go to the cemetery only of the Muslims. He didn't say that. He said, go to the cemeteries, because death transcends all of that. The king or the queen, the black or the white, Muslim or the kafir. Death don't care about that. So as it relates to the non-Muslim who dies, rich, poor, black, man, woman, king, queen, reporter, as it relates to these people, we have a religion. Let us look at our religion and what happened. When Abu Talib died, Abu Talib defended Islam more than probably anybody in this masjid. He told the kuffar of Quraysh, if you bother my nephew, you got to deal with me. And nobody wanted to deal with Abu Talib. He defended this religion. When he finally died, Ismail, his son, Ali ibn Abi Talib, he got these people going overboard about Ahlul Bayt and Ali, and they're the first ones who want to do 3 days of mourning for this lady who was murdered, Shireen. 3 days, light the candles. After 3 days, we're going to do a khatam. Khatam is haram, even just for the Muslim. Has nothing to do with our religion. Shirkun billah, kufrun, khurafat. Ali ibn Abi Talib, who the Prophet said about him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, aqda ummati Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is the biggest judge of our ummah. His father died. He came to the Nabi, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Listen to this. He said, Ya Rasulullah, inna ammaka al-Sheikh al-Dal qad mat. Ya Rasulullah, your uncle, who is the Sheikh, and he was astray, he has died. He didn't say my father died. كأنه تبرأ من والده إن عمك الشيخ الضال قد مات. Your uncle, the sheikh that's astray, not on Islam, he died. كأنه يشير إلى قول الله سبحانه وتعالى قول إبراهيم and those who were with him إنا براء منكم ومما تعبدون من دون الله كفرنا بكم وبدا بيننا وبينكم العداوة والبغضاء أبدا حتى تؤمنوا بالله وحده. He was freeing himself from his father. Same way that Abu Usamah has to free himself from his mother or his father. Wallahi, I don't want my mother to die in kufr. Wallahi. Hurts my heart that she won't accept the deen of Allah. But if that happened, la samahallah, is it okay for me now to come and bend the rules now? Bend the rules. Does it make me feel good? Our religion is not based on bend the rules, you feel good, I feel good. Your uncle has died. Rasulullah said, listen, go and bury your father. You go and bury him. And after you bury him, come to me and don't do anything until you come to me. Ali said, when? I buried my father. No ghusl, buried him. That's the haqq that the father has in the dunya over the son. That's Islam. It's your dad. Your dad is a non-Muslim. Oh, I got the haqq. He buried him. He came, I buried him, Ya Rasulullah. The Nabi said, now you, Ali, you go and make a ghusl. You make a ghusl, and then he made dua for Ali ibn Abi Talib. So the scholars took from this, number one, not permissible to follow the janazah of the non-Muslim. It's not permissible. Rasulullah didn't attend the janazah of the man who protected him. And you know the Arabs say, Ahlul Fadl, the people of Fadl, they know the people of Fadl. It's the people who don't have Fadl don't appreciate. Our children, they don't have Fadl. So they don't appreciate what the mom and the dad does. You have a friend, someone, you help him, you do things. He will never appreciate what you do, never. But a person of Fadl, you do one small thing to him, he's gonna always, it's as if you control him. Yani tamalaktuhu, that's how it is. How in the world would the Nabi of al-Islam not pray over the man, not make dua for the man? He said, you go and bury him. And he didn't go. And then came back, take a ghusl and make dua for him. May Allah help you. May Allah make you a cause that people come to Islam. That's the first issue. Where's the crying? Where's the mourning? Where's the burning of candles? Where's sending all of the text messages? Where's all of that? In the actions of the Nabi. You know, the difference is the Nabi is on al-Islam, the Islam that Allah revealed and sent. But the Ummah of al-Islam, we're on our own thing. Our own thing. Do your own thing. Another example. The mother of the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Rasulullah conquered Mecca after being kicked out of Mecca. 13 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina. After that, he went conquer Mecca. He wanted to go and visit the grave of his mother. He asked Allah before he did it. Ista'dhana rabbah. Allah said, you can visit it. He went to the grave. When he got to the grave, he asked Allah to allow him to ask Allah to forgive the mother. No Nabi came to her. No Rasul came to her. So let me make istighfar. Someone today says, my mother, not Muslim, she didn't hear Islam because the Islam of the Muslims is crazy. That one is cursing the companions. That one doing yarmi. That one believes that his sheikh is the Imam al-A'zam. That one believes that his sheikh done reached a martaba higher than Rasulullah. This one doesn't pray. That one is smoking weed, saying it's halal because it's an herb from the... That's the Islam that my mother heard. Maybe my mother won't go to the hellfire. Nah, man, your mother died as a kafir. As it relates to this stuff that you mentioned, Allah will judge her situation in the Jannah, in the hereafter. But anyway, what Nabi, what Rasul came to Rasulullah's mother, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? If there was ever a lady who deserved candles be burned for her, homage to be paid for her, crying and wailing, if there was ever a woman who died, it would be Amina bint Wahab, the mother of the Nabi, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If there was ever a woman, it was her. Ya Rab, can I go? Yeah, you could go to the grave. Can I ask for istighfar? Allah said no. And then he revealed the ayat of the Quran. ما كان للنبي والذين آمنوا أن يستغفروا للمشركين ولو كانوا أولي قربى من بعد ما تبين لهم أنهم أصحاب الجحيم. It is not permissible for the Nabi. It's not permissible for the Nabi and those who believe along with him to ask Allah to forgive the mushrikeen, even if they are their closest relatives. Even if they're their closest relatives. After it became clear, they're from the people of the hellfire because they died on kufr. I repeat, Ummatul Islam, if there was ever a woman who deserved for us to take 3 days off, United Arab Emirates, 3 days off to mourn, it would have been Amina bint Wahab, the mother of the Nabi, who, when she gave birth to him, the whole dunya lit up. They knew something has happened today special. at his wilada, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Look what happened. Look at the Nabi of Islam, his ijtihad, his wanting good for people, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One of the leaders, or the single most leader, the biggest leader from the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, his name was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. He's like Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl. Criminal, mujrim, straight up criminal. But the Nabi knew, I have to get through and around this man because he serves as a problem for the community. He's like what's up? He's like the media. This man wields a lot of power. I guess can't deal with him anyway because he forms opinions. He makes trouble. So he could have just dusted him off, finished him off, just like that. But if he did that, the religion wouldn't move forward. They say, what kind of religion is this? You people are truly barbaric. So he had to deal with them. The man died. After he died, his son, who was a good Muslim, came and said, Ya Rasulullah, let me have your shirt. Let me have something for your clothes. And I want to put it and bury my father in it because we believe in the tabarruk. We believe in, the barakah, tabarruk, when it relates to the Prophet of Islam. If he was here, wallahi, if he spit, I'll take that spit and I'll wipe it on myself. His wudu, the water from wudu, I'll take that wudu and drink it. I'll take his sweat and put it on myself for Jummah. I'll take his sweat, I'll lick his sweat, wallahi. Wallahi, I'll do that. As for Sheikh glow in the dark, kalla. Wallahi, I ain't doing that for no other Sheikh. Even if he's on the Sunnah, even if he's good, I'm not doing any barakah from that man. None whatsoever. You show me a real hair of the Nabi of Islam, I'm going to protect that and tell my family, hey, if I die, you guys got to protect this as the real hair. But I don't want them worshiping that hair. I want them to just make ta'zeem. This is the Sayyid of Bani Adam. And he allowed that from his companions. Point in case, this situation. Ya Rasulullah, give me something, I want to make my father in it. He gave him the shirt, knowing full well this man was a problem. When it was time for the janazah, Ya Rasulullah, pray over my father. Rasulullah went to pray. Abu Hafsa Umar radiyallahu anhu. Umar came and said, Ya Rasulullah, you remember him? He, throughout your history in Medina, he said this, he said that, he said this, he did that, he did this, started mentioning all of the drama of that man. Criminal. I mean, a mushaghib, mushawish, zalim, a criminal. Umar said, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. Rasulullah said, hey, Umar, take it easy. Allah gave me a choice. Ana mukhayyar. Allah said, if I make istighfar 70 times, or I don't make 70 times, Allah won't forgive them. But he gave me a choice, so I'll make istighfar 71 times. Because he wants to show people how the rahmah is of Islam, non-Muslim, who did a lot of stuff. One of the worst kinds of istimar is not the istimar of your land, it's the istimar of the aqul. Someone comes and they take your land and they take your money and your wealth, that's bad. But when they take your mind and your intellect to the point where you can't see, this is one of this is from the qarnay of kufr and shirk. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi. What has happened to the ummah of tawheed? The ummah of al-wala wal-bara, what has happened to us? That a khutbah like this has to be even given. And our children, they are unleashed. We unleashed on them the internet, social media. If you don't have time to give tarbiyah to your child, okay, that social media, that internet has the time to destroy them. Your children, my children. And I think most of us have kids, we're not happy with where they are right now. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. Some more than others. So the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam prayed on the man. Allah revealed the ayat of the Quran. وَلَا تُصَلِّ عَلَى أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ مَاتَ أَبَدًا وَلَا تَقُمْ عَلَى قَبْرِهِ إِنَّهُمْ كَفَرُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَمَاتُوا وَهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. Ya Muhammad, don't you ever stand over one of those non-Muslims, munafiqeen or other than that. Don't ever pray for them, and never stand over his grave asking for istighfar, making ta'zeem, al-ahzan. Now I can see if it's a non-Muslim like Shireen Abu Usamah. I told you that. She could have went to America, where she's an American citizen, and just enjoyed. But she had courage. I can see, man, here's a person who really, but the one who, do you not know your history? I'm looking at people sitting in this masjid. Do you not know your tariq? And what role people have played and countries have played in your own history? Don't ever stand over them, Muhammad. Don't ever pray over them. And that's because they disbelieved in Allah and His Messenger, and they died as fasiqun. So the question now is, Shireen Abu Usamah, did she die as a Muslim or a non-Muslim? Is she a fasiqa or is she not a fasiqa? Now don't get it twisted, Abdullah. I'm in no way saying that you should go out and be happy and be joyous, because that's not from adab. If this lady dies or she's assassinated, Shireen, she has children, she has a husband, she has people around her, she has a shab, she has shabiyah. And you're gonna go out talking about, yeah, what are you talking about? That's not our religion. She's been hit with a musibah. We're gonna say to her family who are still living from the ahya, we're gonna say to them, ثبتكم الله على أصيبتكم. We're gonna make dua for them. Allah yuqawwikum ala musibatikum. As for the lady who died, Shireen, هيهات. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى الثبات والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أنه بعث محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم بالحق والهدى وكل ما يخالف ما جاء به نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم فهو ضلال. When I went to Mecca recently, and I made Umrah, wallahi, ushhad Allah, I made dua for you people. I don't know all of your names, I don't know all of you. I made dua for this community. Made dua that Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you and your families, help you get married, help you to stay married. I made dua for the problems that I know some of you are dealing with. A wife giving you a hard time, children giving you a hard time. Wallahi, I made dua for you. Whether I knew you, I didn't know you. That's your haqq upon me. And I really made dua, and I wasn't planning on coming here to tell you I made dua, but something has forced me to say that, and that is, one of the things I made dua for, I asked Allah at His house that He touches the hearts of the people in this community to cause you to start spending more on this masjid, because we are not giving the way we can give, and Allah knows best. 400 pounds a week in sadaqah for a masjid that's in need. And wallahi, I don't feel like I'm begging. I don't feel embarrassed at all. I don't feel that way. It's Allah's house. And I'm saying to you, I made dua to Allah to change the hearts of the people in our masjid who, something is in the air. I don't know. Leaves, water, I don't know. Again, I tell you, this masjid is on your shoulders as a mas'uliyah. All of us. If you don't have the ability, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. No doubt about that. But don't be from those people who we keep talking about. Hey, you come in the masjid, using masjid, we need your assistance. We ask Allah Ta'ala that you guys understand this message today in the way that it was meant. This message today is not a message of going outside and being crazy, celebrating the assassination of Shireen Abu Usamah. No, it's not a message about that. This is a message about having izzah, about who we are. We're Muslims. We're not Christians, kuffar. We know how to deal with our religion. May Allah Ta'ala accept it from us and accept it from you. Establish our feet firmly upon the tawheed and make us of those people truthful in word and deed. Aqim as-salat yarhamakumullah.